Top 10 things to have in your bag at Gen Con. So in this video I'm going to talk about top 10 things to have in your bag at Gen Con. And that means things that you're going to be carrying around with you day to day as you walk through the convention center and play your games. Firstly, make sure that you have your tickets and your badge. Event tickets. So your badge is important to have with you because it allows you access to the convention center as well as things like the dealer hall. Some people might go around and check to make sure that you actually have your badge with you, so make sure that you're carrying it around. What I actually have is one of these handy Gen Con labeled things where you can keep your badge in here and your tickets maybe on the inside somewhere, and it's got spaces for different things and a zippy bag so you can keep your cash in there as well. I bought this one last year at Gen Con 2013 because I've actually heard of a few people that lost their badge with this particular badge holder. It's not that easy that it's going to fall out, but there is nothing keeping this stuck in, like there's no rubber bit or velcro or anything like that, so it could potentially just fall out. I have had the staff that stand at the dealer hall entrance tell me that I should probably have this thing, but maybe carry it in a bag as well. Last year they had a few people walk up to them and show them their badge holder without a badge in it. When they were walking around, it had fallen out. The unfortunate thing is that Gen Con can't just replace these. You would actually have to go ahead and purchase another one. They're somewhere between $60 and $80, and it's not something you want to deal with. So I like this badge holder. I'd have to shake it pretty hard to make it come out. I just carry it in my bag anyway. I don't really like things hanging off my neck so much. And obviously you want to make sure you have your tickets because they grant you access to your event. If you lose or forget your ticket, it kind of sucks. You could check if customer support is going to reprint any lost tickets for you. You might have to actually go to your event with some generic tickets and see if the GM will let you play with those. But make sure you have your tickets with you in the convention center. Number 2, the Gen Con program guide. So this thing is amazing and full of wonderful information about Gen Con, things that are going on in the con, and news, things that you might not have known about Gen Con that are happening this year. All that information is going to be in here. So I love this thing. It's actually a great source of information, and you can find out a lot of things that you didn't know were happening at Gen Con in this. I mean, it's going to tell you some premier events that Gen Con's offering this year, some recommendations that they have. So one of the problems Gen Con has is that they might not be able to show you the most amazing events that people are running this year because there are like over 12,000 events every year now. It's difficult for them to try and showcase every one of these events fairly, and you'll see that they will try and show off some featured or premier events in this thing. And usually they're amazing, and usually they're events that you didn't even know about. It has a super handy layout of the dealer hall that is number coded. So you can look up some of the dealers that you might want to check out at Gen Con and find the corresponding number on their map, and that way find them in the dealer hall. I mean, this book has a variety of different maps, where the hotels are, how the ICC is laid out. It also has lists and lists and lists and lists that are color coded about what events are being run at Gen Con this year. It will have a lot of them. It won't have exactly all of them in there, but it'll show you the location that they're at, it will show you the time and the type of event, and it's actually super handy. Some of the problems with this program guide is that it's laid out in the most possibly terrible way that I can imagine. But the information I don't think is displayed in a very user-friendly kind of way. When you first get the program book, and to be honest, they're just lying around the convention center in big piles, it's going to be a little bit confusing to you and a little bit intimidating because it has so much information. My advice is to just take half an hour, sit down on the floor in an ICC somewhere and flick through it. You'll find that the second half is mostly just all the event listings, and the first half is where all the juicy information is. So just flick through that, read the headlines. If anything catches your eye, that's great. Try and see if you can go to that particular event or find some interesting information. So I would recommend using the program guide. Number 3, make sure you bring your gaming materials with you. Dice bag, stationery, character sheets and gaming books. Games. So I know that's kind of a big section, but if you think about it, you are at Gen Con and you're here at a gaming convention which is tagged the 4 best days in gaming, so why wouldn't you bring all your gaming materials? So make sure you bring your dice bag, stationery, pens, erasers, rulers, sharpeners. Bring extras because other people will probably forget to bring theirs. Make sure you bring character sheets or game information if the GM has asked you to do so. More than likely, the GM will provide all the materials such as character information and books, at the game itself, but if he's asked that you bring something, make sure you bring those things. Also, I always think it's a great idea to bring a game with you in your gaming bag. Make sure that they're small games so that they can fit in your little bag to carry around with you. Most of the time I don't start my convention with games in my bag. I actually go to the dealer hall and pick up something new and interesting. This is useful if you guys are waiting for your next game to start somewhere else, if you have a half-hour break, if you're going for lunch somewhere where you have some time, you can break out a quick game to play with your friends. I would highly recommend that because it's Gen Con and you have to squeeze as much gaming as you can possibly can into your convention schedule. I mean, why wouldn't you? Number 4, drinks and snacks. Ooh, cheesy. Oh my god, Gen Con is so short. Does not feel like 4 full days of gaming. It's not 4 days, it goes past so quickly. It's ridiculous. And you're more than likely going to make the mistake of not scheduling in food and beverage time. At least me. I tend to sacrifice the time of having a break and eating something for hanging out with friends, playing games, going to events, going to the dealer hall and all that kind of stuff. So my advice is to bring something to drink with you in your bag, you know, a bottle of water. A lot of people like to have things like energy drinks, Red Bull, Monster, Rockstar, things like that. And that's absolutely fine if that's what you need to keep your energy up. I usually go to a store like Walmart or something like that before the convention and I get one of those big massive multi-packs of like Diet Cokes or something like that and I just leave them in the room and then every day I pop a new one into my bag. Also, you're probably gonna forget to eat. That happens a lot. Have some food in your bag. Another good idea that this is a bag of nuts. You might want to bring nuts, trail mix, granola bars, anything that's small, compact, individually wrapped and easy to eat on the go would be handy. I generally bring a few of those things. I don't rely on them. I don't count that I'm going to eat all of these things. I just have them there as emergency rations, basically. I do try and make an effort to go to restaurants and to hang out with people and actually have proper meals. And it's actually worked out quite well for me because I've always arranged to meet up with people and we've all met up and talked about our days, played some games and stuff like that. So it doesn't actually feel like I'm taking a break and missing out on any of the convention. Number 5, hand sanitizer and deodorant. You can get these things in really small travel sizes and I would recommend having them around with you. You're going to want to at least carry deodorant with you at the con. Indiana is very, very hot around that time of year. I have no idea what temperatures because you guys use Fahrenheit and I'm in Celsius and I have no idea what's going on there. I'm assuming it's in the high 20s, maybe early 30s. I'm going to venture to guess that it's somewhere in the 90s. So it gets very hot and a lot of the time you're going to have to do some walking around the outside of the convention hall and you might get sweaty and gross. So just have some deodorant with you. Also, hand sanitizer is just a handy thing because there's 50,000 people and you're going to be touching things and people and stuff and eating things on the go and shaking people's hands. It's just handy to have some hand sanitizer with you and they're usually small bottles so they don't take up a lot of room. Number 6, cash, money and cards. Cash, cards. Make sure you have cash with you. Make sure you have debit cards with you and credit cards so you're just definitely sure you're not going to be running out. At least if you're traveling from abroad, I find that a really helpful tip because usually there's a ridiculously low amount of money that you can take out of an ATM every day. And most places in the dealer hall and restaurants will actually accept card payment as well. Make sure that you're not running out of money because the ATMs in Indy after the first few days will run out of money completely and it's super annoying. Number 7, space for items that you purchase. Room in your bag to bring stuff home. You're at Gen Con, the dealer hall is awesome and you're going to be buying things so you're going to want to make sure that you have spare bags with you or at least space in the bag that you're carrying around. So I usually have something like this size. It's usually a closed over bag to walk around the dealer hall with and it's usually not completely full. And it usually contains a smaller bag that can be squished up to smaller in case I buy things from the dealer hall that are bigger and I can carry them around in another bag. Number 8, your camera. Make sure you bring your camera with you. And this is super duper important because regardless of if you take a lot of photos or just a few photos at Gen Con, you're never going to be taking enough. You're always going to come home and wish that you had taken more photos. So make sure you have your camera with you in your bag. Make sure you have batteries, or at least that the batteries you have for your camera are fully charged. And make sure that, you know, you carry it around with you and take pictures of everything because you're going to regret it not doing it like I do every year. Number 9. Phone. External battery charger. This is important because no matter how much you schedule at Gen Con, plans will change and unexpected things are going to happen that make your plans change. So you want to make sure that you have your phone with you and obviously all the contact details for the people that you enjoy hanging out with at the con. So if you had organised to meet people for lunch somewhere but your game is running late, you can just drop them a quick message. It is frustrating having to wait for those people who either forgot their phone or their phone ran out of power, and you're just waiting around in front of a restaurant or at the meeting point and they're just 30 minutes late. And it would have just been so much easier had they contacted you briefly or given you a quick message, say they're running late or they won't be able to make it. So, super important. Bring your phone and make sure it's charged or powered, or that you have a way of powering it when it does run out of power or battery. Number 10, layers. Me personally, I get really cold at Gen Con because in Ireland our temperatures just generally somewhere kind of low, coldish. It's always kind of the same, but in Indy, for some reason the temperature outside is ridiculously hot, which I like. But on the inside it's like going into a fridge and it's freezing and it's so cold and it's really difficult to manage for me. So I always make sure that I have like a cardigan or a jumper in my bag because I get cold so easily. And I have used it every single time. I know a lot of people like the really cold. I'm talking to the people who have problems with the temperature difference between outdoors and indoors and that get cold easily. So I would recommend bringing something in your carry-on bag that you're able to take off and on pretty simply. So that was it, guys. That was my top 10 video of things to have in your bag at Gen Con. I really hope you enjoyed my video. If you like this video, I would recommend looking below at a variety of other videos I've made in the past, and hopefully they will be helpful for you when you're going to Gen Con. Also, if you really enjoyed my video and you're looking forward to new videos that I'm making, please subscribe to my channel, because then you'll get notifications of when my new videos are coming out and it would really help me. I also appreciate any feedback that you guys have for me, so please rate my video below and comment. I would be happy to hear what you guys thought of my videos and any advice that you have for me. So, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye!